All right. Okay. What is the smallest of three consecutive positive integers? Okay, let's start right there. If I have three consecutive positive integers, let's go back to when we learned about that. What are our symbols? N plus 1, and N plus 2. Okay, you know that part. We've done that. Okay, three consecutive positive integers. The positive will come into play in a minute. Okay, if the product of the smaller two, what does product mean? Multiply. Okay, so we're going to multiply the smaller two. So N times N plus 1 is means equals 12 less than. So remember that means that 12 is going to go at the back. 6 times the largest. Okay, so what all we've done so far is we've just taken all those words and we put it into a mathematical equation. Okay, now we're going to simplify that. What do I need to do on the left-hand side? All right, so N times N, it gives me what? N squared. No, N squared, yes, not 2N, N squared, and N times 1 is? What is it? I didn't know which one you said. Okay, and then on the same thing on the other side, 6 times N gives me 6N plus 12 minus 12. Okay, now y'all, anytime you see a square, anytime you see the square, you always want that equation to be equal to what? 0. Okay, that's all the goals have it equal to 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move all of this over that way. Well, what happens to 12 minus 12? They cancel. Okay, so we don't need to move it. All I need to move is the 6N. So what is N minus 6N? 5N. Negative. Okay. Now we're going to factor. How can we factor that? What does it have? Does it have a GCF? An N. It has a GCF. Its GCF is N. So we're going to factor out our N, right? What does that leave me with? N minus 5. Now we can solve. All right, remember, if there's no plus or minus, what is that value? 0. And then this one would be 5. So those are our two answers. Now, yesterday, whenever we did this, I said, oh, you always choose the positive one because we were talking about time, right? It doesn't say that today, but it does tell you up here which one to choose when it says positive. So which one am I going to choose? 5. 0 is neither negative nor positive. So our answer is 5. That's the first one. What are the other two? 6 and 7. What did it ask me for? The largest. So what is our actual answer? 7. Y'all, I'm telling you, on the EOC, there'll be no way you can just randomly choose 7 out of the air. You'll have to know how to do it. Right. 5 is just our N, but it's not the one they asked for in our final answer. Okay? Right here? Well, because when we do division, what do we do with our next one? So 2 minus 1 gives me 1. That's fine. Okay? All right? Largest of 3 consecutive positive even. Okay, so for even, what are our symbols? N plus 2, and N plus 4. Okay, even or odd is the 2, 4, 6, etc. Okay? If the product of the smaller two again, so that's N times N plus 2, is 2 more than the largest. Okay, all you to do right now is distribute and get it set equal to 0. So distribute and get everything on the left side. Okay, that's where I want you to stop. Okay? Alright, so I'm going to subtract N and subtract 6. That's going to give me N squared plus n minus 6 equals 0. Okay, now this is simply a factoring a trinomial. What do we do when we factor a trinomial? Okay, we don't have a GCF, so we're going to go straight to X box. What goes in the top? Negative 6, bottom? Positive 1. Okay, give me two sides. 3 and negative 2. Okay, so that's going to give me n plus 3 and n minus 2. So what are our numbers now? Right, it's negative 3 and positive 2. And it told me in the problem that it was 3 consecutive, positive, even. So 2 is our first one. Did it ask for the largest or all of them? Just ask for all of them, didn't it? Oh, largest. Okay, thank you. So it'll be 2, 4, and 6. So 6 would be your answer. So what this does is it combines, we have to learn how to do consecutive integers first. We did those just regular consecutive integers, right? Where we just solve for n. Okay, now we're combining that with our knowledge of quadratic equations and factoring and solving and puts 2 and 2 together. I told y'all there's like 90 some topics, 60 some questions. They've got to find a way to put more than one topic in a question. I have 92 topics.
How many we have got through?
We've probably only got about, we review as we go too, like, I don't know if y'all remember, but like I did that reteaching of this and reteaching of that in second semester where we visited stuff in the first semester again, so we do a lot of that. Alright, okay, now, does this say anything about product? No, it doesn't say anything about product, okay? So you don't get caught up in the same way we did the last one. This is why I can't record with y'all. I can't trust y'all. Yeah. Because y'all can't act like you can ultimately see that. Then you'll get mad when treat you like the kid you act like. Alright, here we go. The sum of 3 consecutive integers, okay? 3 consecutive integers, what are our symbols? N plus 1, and n plus 2, okay? The sum, so it didn't say product, so what do we do with all 3 of those? Add them together, this is the old stuff, so that gives me 1, 2, 3, n plus 3 equals negative 75. You can solve that, that is what type of equation? 2 steps, 2 steps. So we're going to subtract our 3. That does give me 72. No, it doesn't. It was negative, so 78. I didn't see the negative either. I thought it was attached to it. All right, and then divide by 3, and n equals others. 25. It's not the negative. It's not the 26. It's 30. Negative. Oh. I know the negative. Right. Okay. So now remember, when we do these, y'all, the one you find is always the smallest. So right here, negative 26 should go right here. Okay. Then it says which number is closest to 0. Well, the next one will be negative 25 and then negative 24, right? So which one is closest to 0? Negative 24. Okay. Y'all, it's all about wording. Like I told you, a lot of y'all problem on the EOC is not going to be the math, it's going to be the reading, comprehension. What are they asking? Okay? Not how, if it said, just do this math, we'd be great. Okay? They ask it in different ways and we get lost. Okay? Again, right here, product, so we're going to go back to what we were doing. Okay? So 3 consecutive positive integers. Doesn't say even or odd, so what are our symbols? Okay? All right? It's the product of the larger 2 this time. So that n plus 1 times n plus 2. Is means equals 2 more than 10 times the small. All right. n times n. Okay, so on the left, we have to distribute, right? So that's going to give me n squared plus 2n plus 1n gives me, how many total? 2 plus 1. 3n plus 2 equals 10n plus 2. What do you think our next step is? To move the 10n plus 2 over to the left, and it's equal to 0. Minus 10n minus 2. Now, you should find yourself looking straight back up to the very first problem we did. Exact same type, different numbers. What did we factor out? We factored out our n, which is our GCF, and that left us here with n minus 7. Okay, so what are our two numbers? 0 and 7. Which one do we choose? 7, and then we go 7, 8, and 9, and it asks for the smallest. So 7 is your answer. All right, see if you can set this one up. See if you can set the next one up. All right. Okay, 3 consecutive positive even means n plus 2, and n plus 4. Okay, if the product of the smaller two, so n times n plus 2 is 6 less than 9 times n plus 4. Okay, so on the left side that gave us okay. All right, so now we're going to move, right? We're going to subtract 9n, and we're going to subtract 30. So that gave you n squared minus 7n minus 30 equals 0. X box was negative 30 and negative 7, and that was negative 10 and 3. Okay, and that gave us our answers of 10 and negative 3. Okay, so it is 10, 12, and 14, and which one did they ask for? The middle, so it would have been 12. Okay? Now, who are we going to watch? I don't know who did this thing. All right?
Do you like edit the thing?
All right, so the 3 consecutive even, what are our symbols? N
Plus 2, and then n plus 4.
Okay? And it just says sum. There's no product here, so we're going to add those together. That gives me 3n plus 6 is equal to 60. And this is a two-step equation. What's 54 divided by 3? 18. Okay, so our largest, which one is that? Largest or smallest? Smallest is 18, and then that would be 18, 20, and 22 would be our largest. Okay, so it's just in what the wording says, y'all. It's just in what the wording says. All right, go ahead. The bubble box is on here. Just so you know, before we did the test on the computer, these are in the calculator inactive part. Like this type of problem could show up in the calculator inactive, so we have to teach it inactively. And on the calculator inactive, you have a bubble where you have to. In other words, in case this wasn't multiple choice, you would have to write in the number 22 or whatever in the bubble.
They would only have one question and not two because you can't do it.
Right. So they would have to ask you for specifically the smallest, the largest, or the middle. And that's what I'm saying. These are the ones where it's not like if this wasn't multiple choice, it's impossible. I mean, if you don't know how to do it, you're just going to randomly grab a number out of there. I mean, you know what I'm saying? There's no way to work backwards or anything like that. I don't think you have to know the colors. Get rid of those bubble parts. It takes too much time to bubble. Well, we are, but this year you're on the computer. So I'm like, all right. like I said, it's just like that front one. We got the negative 25, the negative 0.4, and 5, negative 8 and 3. They gave you 8 and 3, but it did ask for the largest, so it's 8, 9, and 10. Give me a second, make sure if you don't have that, you get that. Go to the next one. Alright, let's look at the next one. Hey, 2 more. Alright. Oh, now this one's a little different because it says negative. Okay, so it's still n plus 1 and n plus 2. Okay? Product of the larger 2. Pay attention because this is where that term comes in. Is 8 more than 4 times the smallest? Okay, so you should have n squared plus 3n plus 2 and 4n plus 8. So when we set it equal to 0, we get n squared minus n minus 6, right? Okay, so you Xbox that. That gave you negative 3 and positive 2. Okay, so when you chose yours here, which one did you choose?
3.
Which one did you choose? Why? Okay, it says the negative. So we actually should have chosen negative 2. What's the next one up from negative 2?
1.
Negative 1 and 0, so the middle one would be negative 1. 3 would have been if it said the positive. Okay? All right, last one, then get to homework. Yeah, it says negative. Last problem. One more? Large is a 3 consecutive negative even. Okay, so still n plus 2, and n plus 4 because it was even. Okay? If the sum of the smaller 2 this time, so what does that mean? You add n and n plus 2, right? Is 3 times the largest. So do I have to multiply and set it equal to 0 here? No, because I don't have a squared term. So I'm going to move that over. Okay, so that gives me negative n equals 10, so n should equal negative 10. What's the next one up? What's the next one, even one after negative 10? Negative 8, and then, so the largest would be negative 6. Give y'all a minute to get that copy.